Keep blazing your fire, fire, fire. Blazing your fire, fire, fire. This is Jimmy Morgan, bigging up Aromatic Realistic TV. Real bout ya here. Subscribe now. YouTube. Boom.
Reality check man from a year device, say Aromatic Realistic TV. Anyway, today, we not even have none time for waste. And today we want to take a look on the Constitution. It's kind of concerning to me, as a Jamaican, to know that a thing such as the Constitution reform, knowing that some way, shape, or mean, it will impact every single Jamaican human being that is on planet Earth right now. The Constitution. And it's not just we who are here now, but for a generation to come, it's also gonna impact their life. So the Constitution is not a grand gala where you go set up at the National Stadium and pretty it up with some balloon and get entertained and come out and entertain and people laugh and have fun. The Constitution simply means that there is going to be changes to things, the way how we go forward, the way how we govern. It simply means that now the King of England will no more longer the head of state. And what it does now is give the Prime Minister the rights to do whatever he wants to do. Because we no more longer gonna use a Governor General. And we know the Governor General speak to the King, who is the head of the state. Right? When we push through this Constitution reform now, and if the people are stupid to do so and give this mandate to this incompetent administration led by Andrew Holness, it's gonna be a sad day for Jamaica. Because the buck stopped with the Prime Minister. Not the British and the King anymore. Because we would now govern ourselves. So it's not a little pinky panker set up for a carnival, or as I said before, the gun gala. I want to come in, I want to set up and beautify, and people come in and entertain and people laugh. The Constitution gonna have serious impact on people's life going forward. Knowing how corrupt this Andrew Holness-led administration is, all the corruption that is taking place under the watch of Andrew Holness, all the crimes and violence, the poverty, the people who are fleeing from Jamaica, through Panama, through the Mexico, jumping over high wall and running through sewage water just for a better life. The high murder rate, the looting, the shooting, the neglect of the Jamaican people by this incompetent Andrew Holness, who is not the head of the state yet. And if we fool ourselves and put this man in power, Constitution reform, it's gonna be a sad day for Jamaica. Because look all the things that is taking place under his watch. Crime is on the rise, out of control, looting and shooting, neglect of the Jamaican people, no growth, no development. The island is stagnant. So we have to stop for a second and ask ourselves, why is Andrew Holness and his minions are pushing for constitution reform at this time? Why is Andrew Holness and his few minions are pushing for constitution reform at this time? The few incompetent wife have on stage where they make panel or whatsoever to go around and talk like them can speak for the 3 million Jamaican plus the others in the diaspora out there. We're not speaking for us, we're not speaking for ourselves. Right? We are living with this present constitution for the past 60-something years. I will repeat. I said we are living under this present constitution for the past 60-something years. Right? So it means it's decade after decade after decade. We've been living under this present constitution. So it takes time to change the constitution. It takes time to put the right things in place. It takes time for you to inform the people so they can know and aware of the decision that they will make, such as to the constitution that is going to impact their life for the rest of some of us life. You would have to ask, what is the rush? And you are telling us now that the panel that the Prime Minister set up, with a Canadian citizen on that panel of our constitution reform. Remember, Jamaica is looking constitution reform. And we have a Canadian on the board pushing for our constitution reform. A Canadian. Not one of our own Jamaican, a Canadian on that board. So someone will have to ask yourself, why is the rush? 60-something years now, we are living through the present constitution. And in 6 weeks, you want to push a constitution in 6 weeks, to go around in 6 weeks, to educate, to edify, to enlighten the Jamaican citizen. It is the right of the Prime Minister of Jamaica to make sure he educate and edify every single Jamaican about this constitution reform. I said it is the right of the Prime Minister to educate and edify every single Jamaican citizen about the constitution reform. That in some way, shape, and mean, it's gonna impact their life. So what the rush? 6 weeks? We all know that. So 75% of Jamaicans are not equipped intellectually. They are not equipped to consume this message right now. They are not equipped. Say 75% of Jamaicans are not equipped to consume this constitution message right now. You ask most of them what is the constitution, they don't know. They don't have a clue. And for the Prime Minister of Jamaica is trying to go around in 6 weeks to make the case for a constitution reform to the Jamaican people. Something is wrong here. Something is fundamentally wrong. What is going on? The Prime Minister's political future is in jeopardy. Is he trying to push the Constitution to seal himself? Because remember, he's gonna be the head of state, and what he says goes. We no more longer use the king or the governor general. The buck stop with the prime minister or the president. So what's the rush? It's the responsibility of you, Mr. Prime Minister. And that panel why you put up to represent you, Prime Minister, because the panel now represent Jamaica. It's not representing the diaspora. It's representing you. Trying to use those people to go out there to sell another stunt to the Jamaican people. A magician trying to pull another one out of the hat. In 6 weeks, you're trying to make a case for constitution reform to the Jamaican people that's gonna impact their life for the rest of some of us life. Our grandkids and our great grandkids, it's gonna impact their life. So we have to be careful, we have to be patient, we have to be gentle, we have to be cautious with the people. So it's gonna take time for us to break it down so the Jamaican people can understand what the Constitution stands for, what is the Constitution, and how the Constitution works and who does it work for. So why are we rushing? Why are we rushing? I want to remind my fellow Jamaicans, home and abroad and in the diaspora. Look what is going on under the Andrew Holness-led administration government. Crime and violence is on the eye. Looting and shooting, human trafficking is on the rise. The neglect of the Jamaican people. No growth, no development for the Jamaican people. So one would have to ask, if Andrew Holness is not the head of the state right now, and he's allowing those things to take place under his administration, we are not blind, we are not stupid. We are hearing and we are seeing everything that is going on under Andrew Holness. Watch. And if we, the citizens of Jamaica, make the mistake and make that happen, what is going to take place? Jamaica go sink. Because now, if you notice, the only care in Jamaica is for the people with their little money. The mass, the 99% of Jamaica is now being rejected and left behind by this Andrew Holness and his administration. So think about it. The king and Britain is the head of state. And all these crimes and corruption and neglect is now taking place under the watch of Andrew Holness. Just imagine if we lose it and push through this constitution reform thing. And he is now the head of the state where the buck stop with Andrew Holness. And whatever he says goes. Dog yam with supper, with dinner, with lunch, and everything. This man cannot be trusted. In the last election, the man come out with clocks on foot. Forget the 99% of the low income, underprivileged, the reject, the vulnerable, the deplorable on his side. He take off in green clocks and he walk across the water like he's for the people. He promised the people, I will make you sleep with your door open if you give me this mandate again. He promised the people job growth and development. He promised the people a law and order administration. No crime, no corruption. People will be prosecuted. He take the little ghetto youth them and he make them make dub plate for him. Campaign dub plate. The Prime Minister of Jamaica. And after he won, he go and said the music them what them a promote are bringing more crime and violence into the highland. So, Mr. Prime Minister, you didn't know that before you go use this same song and make dub plate. You use a little man them pan them drunk bike, barrel vase them with kerchief tie up around their head pan drunk bike and out there and then vroom and then gone, and after you win, Mr. Prime Minister, what you do? You go and you create your law. You go and make a law and create a new bill and say them have to take off them muffler for them bike because they are nuisance to the communities. As so you say them now, they are nuisance to the communities. They cannot ride their bike again without a proper driver's license. After you use them. So I want the Jamaican people to understand the con artist, the tree card man, the Professor Black Knight, who is trying to pull another fast one out of his magic cap again. You understand? Andrew Holness and the administration and these people who we have on him panel who are trying to go around in Jamaica for the next 6 weeks to push his constitution reform, they are not credible. They have no class, no character, no integrity. Some of these people, because if they do, they would not push in such a thing that is so important and critical to the citizens of Jamaica in 6 weeks. This needs vetting. You have to take your time with the people. Be patient with them. Break it down so they can understand what the constitution reforms mean and the impact that is going to make on their life going forward. But you have to ask, what's the rush? And like everything else, everything that you see someone do, there's a motive behind it. And you have to ask yourself, what is the motive behind the Prime Minister pushing at this time for the Constitution reform? Knowing that everything that this Prime Minister achieved from the previous administration, he mashed it up. Everything Andrew Holness achieved from previous administration to this point, he mashed up, he demolished. Jamaica is at its worst under this Andrew Holness-led administration. Don't take it from me. Just look around and you will see. We have 12,000 run away last year. From Panama to Mexico, run through Mexico border, jump off a high wall, run through sewage, stinking water, just for a better life. And you have to ask yourself, if we live with the present constitution for the past 60 years, then why is it the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, is pushing the constitution reform out there in 6 weeks? You have to ask yourself these questions. What are their motive? Nobody do nothing in this world without a motive behind it. And the question we ask today, what is the motive of the Prime Minister and his few minions that he have on this panel trying to go around Jamaica, knowing that 75-80% of Jamaicans are not equipped intellectually to consume this constitution talk? They're not ready for it. So you have to be gentle and patient. They bring them back to basic school for them to grasp and understand. And over a period of time, then they will start to comprehend. But you can't push something such as critical and important as the Constitution around the island in 6 weeks. Something is not right. Something ain't adding up here. Some desperation is taking place here. And as I said before, and I will say it again, the Prime Minister's scenes of his political future is in jeopardy. Why now? After you mash up Jamaica, Mr. Prime Minister, you are now pushing for constitution reform. Jamaica has been in its worst state, you know. It wasn't under a PJ, you know, or a Bruce Golding, you know, or a Portia Simpson, you know. It's under Andrew Holness. Watch. Jamaica deteriorate, destroy under Andrew Holness watch. I will repeat, it's not under PJ Patterson or Eric Bruce Golding or Portia Simpson Miller. It was under the current Prime Minister Andrew Holness and his administration. Jamaica deteriorate. So you'd have to ask yourself, why is Andrew Holness at this appointed time is pushing for constitution reform? Knowing that everything that was passing down to him from previous administration, he run it into the ground. Now, if the constitution should fell into this man's lap, what you think gonna happen? He gonna use the constitution in his favor to do things to favor him and his cronies. They are not trustworthy. They are not capable. They have no integrity. They have no characters. So how should we trust people like those with something that is so critical and also can be detrimental to the Jamaican citizen? And you want us to just kick back and just allow this man to do what he feels like, knowing that this man already behaved like a dictator over the Jamaican people and he's not yet the head of the state? What if the Jamaican people get out of their mind and make this constitution go through for this man? You have to ask yourself, if they make the mistake and give this man the head of the state, where the buck stop with him, and whatever he says goes. Jamaica do, Jamaica done, Jamaica gone, Jamaica forgotten. The 99.9% of the reject, the unforgettable, the nobody, the deplorable, they will all gone. Just think about it. What's the rush? Over 60 something here, we the citizens of Jamaica has been living with the constitution reform. And you are pushing for changes to the constitution reform. And you have a panel of few minions try to go around Jamaica in 6 weeks to edify and educate the Jamaican people, who, if you ask some of them right now what the constitution is and what it means, they don't know. They don't have a clue. It is the responsibility of the Prime Minister to make sure They educate every single living Jamaican about the Constitution, home and abroad. So they're aware of the decision that they're about to make. It's not just for you, Andrew Holness, and the little panel where you set up with a Canadian citizen on it. Ask yourself, my fellow Jamaican, if it take us 60-something here with the present Constitution, why are they rushing it in 6 weeks? Something is not right. Something is not right. Anyway, stay tuned to Aromatic Realistic TV. Like and share. Follow me over YouTube. Help us to spread the message and to get our fellow Jamaicans aware of situation and things that is taking place. That's all we ask for. Just help us to spread the message. Anyway, walk good and live good. Until then, we chat again. God and good road. I'm out. Much love.